have in front of me here a three-way HDMI switcher or selector. Okay, basically the purpose of this is we would have up to 3 set-top boxes or devices feeding in to a single HDMI lead, and from there going to a single TV. And what we would like to do is we would like to be able to select which of the input boxes is being displayed on the TV. So it's very straightforward in terms of its purpose. This particular unit is very neat, compact, and excellent in terms of its overall operation. So what we have here is we have the outer box here, which everything comes in. We have a user manual. We have an IR sensor here, which would actually insert directly into the selector here. And what we'd use that for is we can discreetly locate the HDMI switcher here, and we can come along then and we can operate the switcher via this remote control if we aim it simply at the sensor here. Alternatively, we can actually change channels directly here. If we look at the remote control, we can see there's 3 inputs here, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come to the front of the unit. I'm going to give an overview of how this would work. So with 3 set-top boxes, we want to choose which of these to use. So it's input 1, 2, and 3. So for instance, Skybox, free-to-air box, and an Android box. Flick between them down to one television. What we have here then is, I'll just turn this over. On the output side, we would have a total of 1 output, so a single HDMI lead leading out to a TV, or you could run it into a HDMI splitter indeed and feed it to multiple TVs if you wanted a bank of them. That would be unusual. What do you call it? And what we have here is the LED light here indicates which of the inputs are actually being used, and we can flick through manually using this switch here. We just hit that repeatedly to flick through the different options. On the side here we have an IR input, and the purpose of the IR input is the Sky Eye that I showed earlier, the light sensor style thing. And if you can imagine a situation where I unfoil this roller cable or length cable, and what we could do is we could hide this and then just work directly off the sensor. This little sticky pad will allow it to stick, let's say, on top of a TV or something like that. So what we have set up over here is we have the full thing. So we have 3 set-top boxes, 1, 2, 3. And if we look here, what we have is we have 3 inputs and a single cable output that's feeding into this TV here. So to flick it, we'll say it's on input 1 right now. If we come along and aim this remote at it and I press button 1, we can flick to a different input here. And we could do it manually on the unit simply by coming along as follows. So let's go into number 3. Just takes a second to adjust and flick down along. Now, interestingly, it's very cleverly on this. Just say I have a 3-way selector like this, a switch, and I only have 2 units connected to it, and the inputs were 1 and 3. Well, if I was flicking between them using the selector button, it would go from option 1 to option 3. It realizes it's getting no input on number 1 or number 2, so it'll just bypass it and skip over. So it's sort of built-in intelligence on it there. So very neat, very compact, comes in at a very competitive cost and works excellently well. So that's it anyway, an overview of the 3-way HDMI selector available on freetv.ie.